won't mean finish all the drains at the time. I reported in cabinet, for instance, that in 2018, the government committed 200 million towards flood control. Need do now call drain construction and the sorting and drain rehabilitation. 2020, the government provided additional 250 million. Exactly.
Okay.
And as part of the drains, also they say what we call the sorting every year. Be a tiga terminal the I feel it's a BNC.
Okay.
I feel BNC. In fact, the local government minister, because once the last MP time now, there's a Zoomlion.
Yeah.
Not on exactly. I buy. I must say there be any on your money. You know my Jeffrey Muslim. I'm Jeffrey company in some of the Akoma assembly. Local government minister about 2 years ago reported assembly no any ejumano. Even though this kind of more.
It undermine what you are no na.
It's undermine the work we are doing as a country because say what the contract? I don't have a problem if government of the day thinks say Zoomlion or say the contract if you know. But there has to be an alternative plan.
Okay.
So what I say. And they failed to provide that alternative plan. Until I'm got a choku. I saw president say or try so because in sunu na todo duntina debi. So they thought be I didn't attend you are also na major flooding disaster.
Abusunya wadaroma mesere na wa like me video no wa share for adwen kire nso sobra. Nipa woka say honorable Asenso Boakye. Asese wono na yemra hye badwane di ma de hia wono wo bantuma abato mpesua so e wasante mantemu ahinkuru kumase na wopeni ebra ya na his excellency na Nadanko Akufo-Addo anase MPP wa ben mu no wono enene ye wosoafo a ya wohwe ya kwantempon eso mekire minister for roads ebra ya yesesa ye free ayi ya mo akwanta free honom wono ena eba beto aso na openi wakire mu pa de nti ene ensu yiri abrebia NDC aban wa ban mu bia na ensu yiri ese wo man Ghana e wo niema bi mu no wonya adaje a kire mu pa afri se bra na Nadanko Akufo-Addo bae no na nado e ka kire wonom se sebi ye do man ni sika ayi ebo bra bi e ma wo matemamfo ho to wo mu a yebetimi abrebre saa anya sika ni bia hya nan na emom se yamfa sika na mbo temamfo ho bra na ye jaaja wo mu ma omu wuwu a yentimi emfa wo mu mankwan mu bio enti abribia na nado hye wo mu se wo nye de wo mu be ye bebo amatemamfo no ho etimi ato wo mu enti mpempi no ano no mu de sika hye gata ye tititimu ne ye ba mu bie mu sa de be ye nsuo to a wonu benya baabi afa ne titiru pa ne se omoma Zoomlion dwumakuo no de wo nsa hye apam biase a afibia no mu sika bi o de ma no e ma ne didi sa adwuma ne boa ampa so Zoomlion so won fidi akese ne niema hodo a wode ko sa eniema yi pa ne nso so NDC aban ba ye eno obehwe nkratam no ohunu se niema bi onom na se won twetwetwa so NCC ano a ono kra no wonya sika emfa nye niema opese wode ye enti Zoomlion dwumakuo no otwa wo mo contract mo kra ye beka ya nano basintali eba betina ho ka se na Zoomlion dwumakuo no na on renew wo mo license ne de be kan se bebre no a okay adwuma no so wokọ eniti ene abobo ya afo ye omo na mo fichire esasesa bola ya sebe ye pese wonum susu nya adwuma ye nti no ye ja wo mo se omo na esasa bola no mo susu enye bibi ndie no ene omo se sa bola no omo hu ba bi omo de ko obi abobo ye emuni tokwan so no atama abobo ya no waja nguda na gu ho nti ene bebre no a wonam no a efinko a ena ebu nkamfa ye so na Zoomlion onye na adwuma sa nti ene Asenso Boakye nya daje a kire mu mako kwan a na nado ehye wo mo se wo nye bridges akese ene drains anase ensramso akese betimi aboa na easy flooding ne no ane se na amene ena enedi a bola ebunkama fa yeso titiro ne nkramantemu a saa rahoseme etoye yenya daje ne nti Asenso Boakye ne kiremu ode ba ye ne niema ene NDC aban ne ya ede oye ne ena ebre o my Ghana nyina wadaroma for adwenkyere bla like video no so na afa so share mame.
We have spotted talents. Some are in Nairobi, about 70 of our staff are there. Some are going, about 50 in Lagos, Liberia. We are exporting talents. And it's because of all the understanding of we came to invest into the waste management and to deal with it righteously. In fact, my ambition has been that as for the black man, If you don't excel beyond reasonable doubt, you are not proven. If Zoomlion is today accepted in Kenya, meaning that we are practicing what international best practice is accepted into the waste management. And that's all what has been done. Because if you are not doing something right, we will never be allowed. And some of them were tendered. We went to an international competitive tender and we were being certified. Waste management is science, a skill. It's not just job for cooperatives. It's not job for boys. No. If you consider waste as, you see, the actual thing that every human being thinks that when you generate waste, it's a common thing. Anybody can collect. Anybody can sweep. But when you sweep and you don't have a scale of how to collect, you see some debris left. It's a scale. So the concept and the fundamentals of waste management, if it is destroyed, you see flooding. You see flooding. Because if you don't have people sweeping on the street of Accra, even in your room, if you don't sweep 1 month, you see that you will not feel comfortable. So if you don't have people constantly sweeping and collecting it, the waste will find itself in the drains. And when it rains, flooding will occur. It's natural. You cannot do anything about it. So if the fundamentals are not kept right, that is how it will be.
Now, Omanjuma Moye, and a man for the suburb NPP appointse, my pencil, Moody Jumedia be by. Yes, I made a man for be cracker and for so be anti-member Garrett project. Yensha same feel one more. Ya Saj Media Mode Baye, Sebabwama and Krahanamo, yet me at Timo. Na gatters, I would wear CCN, you bet me in Nemo across 17 mmds noir. Na ewo honomono. A man for because my pencil, Sa Garrett project number the buy no, as is get dear because so and me, I'm fan for so dear, I'm bro my Ghana, a monocrepane say.
Yo, the can my fa and check a sema what you for you now. Say, we. Timika say sikedi Bermud na ebe nwa kakra because aban we buy no omo ya confirm me no anisa omo ma chichin krofo we bre investigation be bre na ekoso mintin say investigation bi aba ewo Garrett project and I said me for my minister afrem me say me meyi ma no Garrett project na World Bank sika obi no betime dey
okay
this be a wajimi and it's kind of more some work could do.
What is it? Let's get the uncle so one more.
Nebi.
The
ten say World Bank sa Garrett project no. Nene kufa do ban and the kofa buy. Abra June 3rd, 2015 disaster ne buy. Say a report be bre buy. Na report ne buy no. Aban yesterday be yempe enye feasibility studies mi hu kwan asa flooding the buy. Now mo ye no hu say there be there are several factors that contribute to the flooding. That particular period no ukaya insu lot Accra no in terms of land use planning we are saying say it's a low-lying area, just a form power.
Yeah.
And I all mountains so we are blue mountains so and so twice so.
Yeah.
It is so tall on that. Sometimes you can so enter Accra and so to me flood it Accra.
Yeah.
If you say a tall mountains na sunny
down.
Ain't side you tell no what happens is it's so tall Accra no be so tall or mountains and a deep speed a Accra and a bounce so no na waves ne wo see no so no it's in the boom no and this June 3rd disaster ne buy and it's catch fire ewo circle area ne ko fa sanse no nyina buy entino World Bank project na World Bank 4 years on be funding no me feasibility studies no mo say there are certain drainage infrastructure you have to put in place and they be reduce flooding no ewo not Accra nyina but the Odo Basin. Odo Basin, there are several basins. And I cry your donor, your other colleague on the Kikahon. So, many interventions and na about implementing. Now, what about Sikano? Answer na Sikabe, you be releasing. Not to say, processes, bureaucracy. Now, Abraham Warno, you went through a lot of processes. Designs, feasibility. Contrast for some of the drains.
Okay.
Achimota Abofu, for instance, yesterday.
That storm drain can see
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Kwashiman. And so yesterday storm drains as part of the project. Baby a friend of Buzia Highway.
Okay.
Yeah. And several others. Yesterday under the project, under the Gary project. But about we buy, so extra.
Now we buy in the Gary project, Wahoti and answer.
Yeah, how to it's been installed. And now there's one critical intervention under the Gary project, and the most important.
Okay.
And it's a atomic area. It's a say you build what we call detention ponds. So detention ponds, no. So it's only free mountains nearby. The pond no receive water
Okay. So I say it's only free. If I say I mensa how many idea eba no. Sa a topic one no. Sa pump no beji insuni.
Beji insuni na. Sa. It is a suni jaya. The engineering system no is such a way say be release insuni crack. And sana be don cry. Akogu ponim. So as Abra MPP fra bem no. Na ye engineering designs. I completely. Na ya procurement I say ya award contract no ma contractors na fofi anto ata na MPP are buying free.
Is this the one that the Gary project no?
Yeah, Gary project is not making. Say no obu some question. As at now, omo buy ye ko 2 years ni. Omo nyi bibia o ho. Da ho. Sa asema na okay dey making. Omo panyin ekoye inspection. O be kan problem ni nyina. We need the SAE or say detention pond. The process has started. Procurement has started. Designs had been completed on by Astrolo. And now minya report to be from another FM station.
Okay.
Say World Bank cry a comment say abide by must stop so me just when you say and I spoke in
ministry no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I spoke in Parliament about it. I didn't have that information and come to back home. Until me be a dear dance, say, or may decide, say, or moon home share. And Tina a can be and as a flooding challenge a buy. And yes, it can be a deliberate attempt to stop the works that has started. So what I say, and only Gary project.
Under your leadership, na level of completion. What's that Gary project? No much me do percentage wise, no much to be saying.
Oh, percentage mean to me because me free ministry home. I think at the beginning of 2024 will be by a bit twice. But I mean, I will not be able to mention in terms of percentage. But the key thing is that not construction, not construction. I started on buy na, but now you think you discuss a quite flood neighbor. So I don't think say it's an issue because Ghana will be any. My penny meets or casa or kind didn't say my flood neighbor. So what I say in Pempi, now you drainage infrastructure no and you're robust. Because many of our drains now water than a check. It be a week. It be so say we call it undersized as a kitwa. Insurance with time no. Nana could afford to buy. And yes and no. You have to invest in drainage infrastructure. Until you build a lot of drains. Accra, Kumasi, Takrade, Tamale. You teach you Accra in the Kumasi. Now drains no. Won't mean finish all the drains at the time. I reported in cabinet, for instance, that in 2018 the government committed 200 million towards flood control. Need do now call drain construction and the sorting and drain rehabilitation. 2020 the government provided additional 250 million. Exactly.
Okay.
And now, as part of the drains, so they say what we call the silting every year. Be a so the tiga terminal the I feel it's a BNC.
Okay.
I feel it be BNC. In fact, the local government minister, because once the last MP time now, there's a Zoomlion. Not on exactly. I buy almost say there be any on your money. You know my Jeffrey some. I'm Jeffrey company in some of the Akoma assembly. Local government minister about 2 weeks ago reported assembly no any ejumano. Even though this kind of more.
Undermine what you are no now.
It's undermine the work we are doing as a country because say what's the contract? I don't have a problem if government of the day thinks say Zoomlion or say the contract if you know. But there has to be an alternative plan.
Okay.
So what I say. And they failed to provide that alternative plan. Into the man got us in the bri achoku. I saw president say or try so because in sunu na todo duntina debi. So they thought they be I didn't attend you are also na major flooding disaster.
Na say one was say the work mampanyi ase na pen so bia no sa flooding ne ade no taisi pa dear poti and e cost is it because e bia ehun nim die no omo de be solve sa challenge ni ho no and as omo need the right people wo motimi take.
It's all about the commitment. And I make catch you say yeah wo no afibia no apart from new drain construction you know and the rehabilitation of weak drains no now you said the sika ko share the sorting you tigates ni mu and now waste collections and there was a plan for waste collection. Now we don't have a plan. There was an existing arrangement with a company called Zoomlion. That's not my issue. But what Jeff from somebody so make an alternative arrangement. Me some of the district assembly, but according to minister no, or say assembly is need. So what are you doing? The government job is not to complain. Government's job is to take action.
Yeah.
So the team phone so I believe that they have failed in that regard.
From where you sit, dear Poti na yebetimi aya sa di we will find a lasting solution to sa insuiria yire na farm. For instance, I feel the kwampo de we have impact re nya ye no a so pa.
Yeah.
Dear yebetimi aya yebetimi aso anokra.
Well, aso anokra dey be a bed. But yebetimi atiso.
Okay.
So in flood management, yeah, as I can say, you reduce the risks. Exactly. And see, as I say, guso drains. And then Ghana is sky will be the constructed road. Sky being a beer and road neko. Road in so we build the road. Next we need drainage. In so a befa road nako. You have seen several instances. Even today, I saw a video. I think in the western region, I think towards the Diamond Mines Road, because there's no drainage, the road has been cut into two. New road, exactly. So I have been saying that you have to find a way to raise money to do more roads. I mean, more drainage work. In fact, recently, I proposed to say, road maintenance fund, FBS Kakotomia de road maintenance, you knew a portion of it. Me if I could share what I call drainage fund. Okay. Yeah, we need a drainage fund.
We need a drainage fund.
Yes.
Yes, I found in the bed.
Sick of footobia. I buy the pesca with gum. Now yet me I invest in drainage construction.
Okay. Exactly.
And drainage maintenance. I think it's very clear. It's long overdue. And I want you the media to talk about it. It's very important. Get fund. I mean road fund. Afibia ekogum. The says canon. The road no. I believe that there's a causal relationship between drainage provision and road construction. Because where there are no drainage, who can be sent. So there's a relationship. So I propose that. Apart from that, as I say, government's regulation on settlement planning, say intensify, handsome.
Okay.
You see, Obaimu your umrawa, your building code, your laws on development, laws on settlement planning and land use. Say okusidanya. It's all chokoma assembly no. Say me site planning number sim kusidanwa. Assembly no committee bureau from development committee. Development committee ni behe. Ni who say adan akusi land no. Is it a place that I say you see a down also? Because if you are a swampy area, a marshy land, exactly. Until those sit on the on your application and approve.
And the type of building probably see, you know.
That is a building permit. Yeah. There's a development permit, and no, it talks about the site now. Consider no, and sana ya approve no. We design now the consider no. So the core. Now building permit.
Yeah.
And even building permit, you know, there is something we call site coverage rule in our building code. You know. So we sit down here, as I say, a portion of that land, you know, must be reserved for green. So what I say, and so obi obesi den bia nipa dodo na ni asmenti ho nyina. Nti so to a ntimi enkofom. Then say it becomes running water. It's a echo. So what I say, and so now buche ni baby bebre ni make sure so bi o si dan bia no be get a space for greens. You so no to it will percolate na akwa asase na se. When you now were building codes more, but they are not enforced. And that's why in Parliament when I was speaking, I said there are enough laws, but the challenge is enforcement. Mijidi said district assemblies no omo said strong. And I've said it in many times that at the time that we were planning to go on the path of decentralization, as a people, we never realized the enormity of responsibility we were placing in the hands of the assembly people. Okay. And you don't have the capacity, because for instance, if you have to review architectural designs and all that, let's say you need architectural assembly, and how many architects will go into the assembly? How can we pay them? So there are challenges. And in the Ministry of Local Government,
beyond say over can say, you know, wakwa ranking member at the local government committee, you know. Dear na mobile extra, said a bear, sir, MMDCs no woman ain't to me meet expectation, and I said, woman to me, Mojuma, woman, potamun to me, Anthony Adiano. Dear na with me beyond that, beyond Casanova, a bit more city of Modia.
And a buying a holding woman, but then as minority, no, and as a committee, no. A brand be an issue, and nobody. In fact, last week, I share all assembly members and officials Greater Accra, and the 2 minimum, and my HROM, and no my as a somewhere. But at the end of the day, I'm not the one that appointing authority. I can only advise, exactly. And I believe, say, if government has the political will, in fact, some of them have been doing well. In fact, some of them have been demolishing buildings on waterways. Yeah, and I commend those who are doing that. I heard the news item that the president is saying that they should, demolish all yes, which is positive. But do we have to sit down for we to build the structures before we demolish them? And when you demolish them, you have to spend money to even remove the debris. Exactly, that's also a lot of money. Because if you demolish and you just leave it there, there's actually no point. Okay. And so saying, and this is a kakese.
I recommend this MMDC is now one meet expectation, no, and car a bino, and more monchu, no one with my Jumano Embra from where you sit, you know. Oh
yeah, I mean, if you cannot do the job, why do you stay there? Yeah, that one there.
Too early to judge them.
I'm saying, I mean, say, oh, now what can say? I recommend this if they are not able to work. It means before you can say they are not able to work, maybe our assessment to be. And I'm saying that if this assessment have been done and it's established, they are not doing their work well, why not? We have to take action.
Ability anti-flood task force. Yeah, committee, said a you ma moye ya went me anya wie no omotimi atoa so ya ma me marita brew ka ho bie national security coordinator ɛka ho, and then deputy NADMO director wɔn nso ka ho ne adeɛ. So far committee na adwuma wɔn yɛ no anaasɛ wɔn ayɛ no who is saying?
Well, me say it anti flood task force no me but me ni adwuma bi o my so far. Omo me kan adwuma bi o my.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not aware of. I mean, Parliament, they haven't come to brief Parliament. General Minister for Interior maybe brief for Parliament about the disaster happening on Monday. But one catch maybe anti-task force in here. He himself is not a member of the committee. Yeah. So apart from the news that we heard that there's a task force in place, I don't know. Image might be on my unless you ask them. Yeah.
Almost say wamu bubu dan ni ade ni na komudwuma na wamu yen no. Tena make say so far wo hwedwuma bia wamu eye no a how would you
on bubu dan be na dan be no mo bubu.
Say wamu ka ho wamu ye demolition exercise ni ade no. It's under there wamu authority say wamu to take this exercise ni ade. So far no have they not done enough? Yeah, bet me can say we the committee here the wamu bu adwuma pa.
And I can say I don't know what exactly they have done. Yeah.
After say inaugurate wamu ni na helicopter mu etwitwa pictures
me so far. Yeah.
President ne response to situation you see here and then answer bepem ene ya who ni say
I think say a very reactive response. Okay. My teacher say me this can be 300 million cedis. Half of it, 150 million, is to support the victims.
Yeah.
Which is a good idea. We support it. And another 150 million to actually invest in flood control. Flood control now, start here there. Now, this is Kakushim. Kufado's time, a commitment of 540 million.
Yeah.
Mobile and I first year, come to us. Second year, almost to us, man to us. I compare say at the ranching buy, Mumuna or Maba as an afterthought. So the 150 echo room. Well, better late than never. But if they had continued the work that we did, we probably wouldn't be in the situation that we found ourselves. It shouldn't happen. Say, Asem Nesi, Asana, or Abra would prefer say these are very important interventions. Afibia no flooding see into yes, Nasebi, Enkofa Asem Kesibia Amba. I will have wished Senka obey invested that money. Abra Bar Bemuno. Dan sell chairman BBC see and sana and no say they are not being proactive, they are being reactive, and I buy so our year on your proactive what you man intimate so any now in your man for
upon all interventions here or put in place intimate solve the situation flood situation or Ghana Hanamo and I say to me and mitigate impact
to some extent it can. For instance, if we are told say from Thursday corner in Soup Cyberton,
yeah,
if the gutters are choked, if the gutters are silted, the same problem will come. So I, for instance, say we should declare a 1 week emergency for flood control.
Okay.
So the bear deploy security agencies and NADMO officials and raise the necessary money to dissort the gutters. If that is done and is done right, it will be mitigated when the next rain comes in Friday, Saturday, as is being forecasted. We don't know the volumes that will come. Okay, so it is important that Saisikana Abandia HDA quickly in deploying for no more dissort gutters. And you cannot construct drain this month, next month, and finish. But you can do the sorting. Then they reserve some of the money to continue with some of the drainage projects that we started, and also will help mitigate the flooding when it rains.
For Francis Asenso Boakye, a ranking member at the local government and rural development committee. Oh my God, I'm rushing between the AD and Common. Said ya woka, said ya, uncle for make said be a man for which my tears yes, flood ni bisu honey at yeno. Make 2023, what did you make it by ya now? Utu didn't say flood early warning systems. yeah no netimi boa na early warning signs na manfo betimi ehunu se ensuire ebesi wo hanom tiro bia na no ho so meni mu fira ban mu no so far motimi ate ho nsem bi dwumadi na ekoso
I'm surprised because yes that early warning systems no technology bia ewo ho a sensu beto a it can predict say ebia dansoman area ensu beto
okay
into no amafo nhwe and no basa na ban advice community ni say BBC besi into no obia moving free her maybe in the next 2, 3, 4 days no. That's what the early warning systems no.
Yeah.
And it was put in place before we left office. Yeah. So the government, for instance, should tell us why it's not functioning.
Why it's surprising, sir? With this systems you buy
as part of the Gary project and all the system. The briefing that I have shows that it was established before we left office.
And the other agencies.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
But is it still working?
They should. It's not in my hands at the moment. The government should. I've called for government to come and brief Parliament about, for instance, the Gary project, the status, and the plans to complete the project. And when they come, the government will have the opportunity to tell Ghanaians what they came to meet and what they have done since they assume office and what plans they have to complete it, so that we will achieve the desired objective for which it was established.
In social set to ebi kase MPP4 and 1 year no mayi ebi nsa ban ya otia konwa so yi and 1 year no mayi. Do we have to politicize sa atoyenche mu atoye yi baby aba bedru so omai
ade ba kwa ha Ghana pa ne sa over politicization of issue Asem bia ne politicizing and me kai say abra ye beto about 2024 no 2023 2024 so to bia o mampanyini a wotisu that time no campaign is up president no the politics ibu ensu antokra no tumika se MP abambu boninti ensu anto ensu ton so se abambu boninti fla ensu nato ama flooding ba to the politics bebre enra me ne ikuja Dr. Boakye ma ne koye inspection of the now on the small kind say flooding in politics Asem. You have to come together and fight it together, because when it floods it doesn't discriminate. Kasa kesia enra papa bia far you are kuma e best me bilan over you are colan over enye yibi and several other cars, so it doesn't discriminate whether you are poor or rich. So what I say, you know, politicians are already flooding ye politics no, shame on to them. That's what I say. And that is why even though I always say government has a responsibility to play in terms of investment, it has to commit to build new drains, repair old ones, and also expand undersized ones, no, and also desal the gutters, no. I also think young timemufons, no, you are said kesepa SCD, because independent bebre, you know, almost to go baby or mope. Now flooding situation be me constituency bantama. 10,000 work on a frigid than swimming. Now ubimpa na edem. Now the pani frigid betua a better to me. I'm a insu kwan, I'm insu ako. So what I say, intin yen you be a yeno, Emma flooding no. My district assemblies, no, so it's actually a collective responsibility. Everybody has to play his part. Government will have to play his part. The citizenry will have to play his part, and the planning officials at the district assembly and the political actors there too must also play their part to make sure that we fight the flooding situation together.
Baby, ever been through so mine over 69 years, getting to 70 years, koi. Jumedia, yesha say ya sebitimia so sa to yenchimono kwan. Have you done enough? You wait me say in the next 5 to 10 years to come, no? Sadi we know subako from kura.
Well, we haven't done enough because we don't have the resources to do, you know, especially when you are doing the drains. But kakrana, you know, if we're able to plan it well with limited resources, if we're able to plan it well now, we can do it in such a way, say, the critical ones are tackled. For instance, if we're able to do the detention ponds at Atomic Corner, it will reduce flooding incidents drastically, especially within the Odo Basin. So what I say. So there are certain critical infrastructure, drainage infrastructure you're investing in a bebwa. Yeah, but you see, there's also this issue of climate change. Sometimes it's soon bit me at na infrastructure said the encrana na bogus. Yeah.
Now we just say swafo na we had density in human so. So far, we feel we unia Gilbert, J Abba. When you media would dear no, or yena famu dear, and I say, Adiano. So we say, hey, this is a time when come here works and housing minister. Let me act now. It may be said to be a flooding situation. It's a bit me because more pencil, more yama from dear. It will be annoying. Who said, money to a phone didn't come out. Ya more year project a bit me up one a bit mitigate sa impact. No, Gilbert as minister for works and housing. No, or yena family, is it doing enough?
Hey,
has it done much?
You want me to pass judgment on my successor? No. He himself, I think he has a clear mind. He's very hardworking.
The one for because he's not on top of.
I think he's very hardworking. But you see, this let's say media house they buy about World Bank Day. Yeah. It's obviously a finance ministry and a frustrating effort.
Okay.
Exactly. We are infrastructure minister. Let's say you are not being funded. How do you solve the problem? That's what I'm saying. The report is saying that. It's not me. So how do you blame the minister? The minister is probably prioritizing something else. Or this should be more. For instance, I wrote a letter to the president when they decided to construct this new expressway. Yeah. So you know exactly. And I was saying that there is an existing dual carriage road here from Accra to Kumasi. Yeah. And you know, na me sre my panyin say yenye. So what I say, because Sakwan a very strategic towns and economic zones in the Kudu Kumasi. Yeah. And yes, our road now. Now, ya could do achieve 64%. And you know, so can I want or say what reserve for, especially one from completely. Now, or here we are to achieve the same results or person the new highway neighbor. Now it will cost less than a third.
And so be a new one.
A brand new one. Yeah. Nanka says can also the way we say no. So to test never can. What about other things like flood maintenance? They say, what is kind of why the attention and I want to mean support to the Ministry of Local Government. You are not able to support. You are not able to support works and housing. And you know, Abraham Kokain was saying, "Me pay Kumasi for Asem. Na me poor man intina make kasa." But management of the economy, you don't have. You have scarce resources. The basic economic theory tells us say usikaniswa. Next when human be so yeah. What do? You prioritize. Yeah. And you make the best out of the little resources that you have. They say wow. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And when the BBI politics, say futu am the mo mu say so come fire and ka be boa. So when the BBI politics and wo kokuma say a kwanya I think I do 4 hours, and sometimes 8 hours. You could do Konongo to me do 2 hours, not do the traffic more Konongo. Meanwhile, there's a bypass I start here and can you yeah. The same thing so it's a problem. These are the kind of things that you can't far about when I am for being TRC, but they are very important. So what I say. And see, back to the minister, I think he's very hardworking. But at the end of the day, see, encounter drum any happen ya. What me funny pen if any say encounter got more Abraham man discussion funny. No contractor will go and do it. Abraham on committee and say first carry all man discussion. So So what I say, but otherwise, fine gentleman, I think he's doing his best, but he needs the support of the finance ministry.